Hi, church. Ryan asked me last week if I would mind doing a 3 to 5 minute video and about my favorite passage or something. And the problem that I had with it is it's so hard for me to remain 3 to 5 minutes because I could go on and talk forever. But I'm going to go ahead today and use the Project 51 reading that is taken on this Monday from 1 Samuel 8, where Israel asks for a king. So I want to read the first 6 verses to set the stage for what I want to say. When Samuel grew old, he appointed his sons as Israel's leaders. The name of his firstborn was Joel, and the name of his second was Abijah, and they served at Beersheba. But his sons did not follow his ways. They turned aside after dishonest gain and accepted bribes and perverted justice. So all the elders of Israel gathered together and came to Samuel at Ramah. They said to him, "You are old, and your sons do not follow your ways. Now appoint a king to lead us, such as all the other nations have." But when they said, "Give us a king to lead us," this displeased Samuel. Okay, Samuel's displeased. So he has some choices to make about how he deals with the situation. So let me give you 4 that he didn't take. He could call the elders in charge that month, ask when the next elders meeting was going to be. They would put it on the agenda and then wait 3 weeks to discuss it. The second choice that he did not take was he could get the entire congregation together. They could all discuss the pros and cons of kings versus judges, and then after 3 hours, take a vote. The third choice that he had was he could automatically veto it because it was not traditional and it would cause an uproar. The fourth thing that he did not do, he could have called another brother and said, "You would not believe what some people want to do in here," thus causing a ruckus in the church. Obviously, he didn't do any of that because the next part of that verse says, so he prayed to the Lord. What a novel approach. He prayed to the Lord. But do you know why he could pray to the Lord? A large reason is because he had a mother that prayed. Hannah was barren, and her husband's other wife had children, and she made fun of her. And she wept bitterly in her anguish, and she wanted a child. So God answered her prayer, and she had Samuel. So when she had Samuel, believe it or not, she gave him back to God. And she gave him back to God right after Samuel had been weaned. Now, how many of us, after not being able to have a child and then having a child, would give him back to God at such an early age? In her deep anguish, she prayed to the Lord, weeping bitterly. She made a vow saying, "If you give me a son, I'll give him back to you." And she did for life. Our children and our grandchildren need to see us praying. They need to see us pray when we put them to bed. They need to see us praying when we're alone. They need to see us praying as a family. They need to see our heads bowed any time of day. And we don't necessarily have to pray with our heads down. We just need to pray. We need to let them know that God is such a part of us that we want to include him in every aspect of our life. More lessons are caught than taught. So they will do what they see us doing. And I'm sure that much of the reason that God and Samuel were close, it actually says that that God never let one of Samuel's words fall to the ground. In other words, he heard every one of them. He caught them on the first take. He didn't wait. He listened to every word that Samuel said. Have you prayed today? Is it your first line of action when you're in a problem, when you're in a dilemma? Oh, how praying rests the weary. Prayer will change the night today. So when life seems dark and dreary, don't forget to pray.